Assalamu alaikum, ladies. This is going to be our first international hijabi passe video. Amina, Janil, and I have decided to create a group of hijabis of different cultures, I guess. Yeah, I guess cultures is a good word. So of different cultures, of different backgrounds, of different, yeah, we're all different, but we're all still the same. Like, we all have very similar qualities, I guess, about us. And we make a great team, I think. There's also another sister who, I'm not sure if she really wants me to mention her, but we do have another behind-the-scenes member, and she's fantastic. So I think every once in a while we will maybe do, she's a little bit shy to be on camera, but I think we will do maybe a post from the other sister type of video thing. Anyways, so this first video is about toddlers. It's about raising toddlers. Okay, so yeah, lots of us have toddlers and lots of us have issues with our toddlers. So this is going to be split into 5 different little sections. I'll just put a little title up with what the question is, and then I'll go on to describe it. So, number 1. I'm not sure if you know this or not, but I have a home daycare. In the part of Canada where I'm from, it's actually called a day home, but in almost everywhere else in the world it's called a home daycare. Essentially, I have a small daycare within my own home. I help to raise other people's children. So, with that being said, I have helped to raise many toddlers, and I'm currently raising Adam, who's at probably close to the end of his toddlerhood and getting into preschool time. But yeah, so I've raised 3 and have helped to raise many more. For me, it is the best part. For me, it's their absolute fascination with absolutely everything that goes on in the world. They're fascinated with, birds, and with the way that leaves grow, and the worms that come out of the ground, and with the rain, and with the snow, and, with sand, and, baking things, and how something that's wet like a cake mix turns into cake that you can eat. They're fascinated by absolutely everything. Yeah, it's very, I'm not quite sure what the word is that I'm looking for, but to see the world through a toddler's eyes certainly gives you a whole new perspective on life, that's for sure. So that's my favorite part of toddlers. Also, the things that they say, oh my god, they are outrageous. That's on my blog. If you look up daycare isms on my blog, if you just do a search for it, yeah, some of the things is just... Yeah, I'm not going to go into it here, but yeah, so I kind of have 2 of the best parts of toddlerhood. I kind of have 2 sections here again. For me personally, the most challenging part of toddlerhood is, my mind went blank, potty training. And that's because even though generally I would describe myself as a homebody, I would rather stay home than go out and visit people. I would rather stay home than go to the park. I'm just a homebody. I like to sit in my reading chair. I like to read my books. I really like to be home. And even when we go out and visit people, I don't like to go out. I'd rather be in their home than going out. So I'm kind of unique that way. But when I do go out, I don't like to be held down by things. And I find that when you're potty training, you don't have much you don't have much leeway with things. You need to make sure that you've got access to a bathroom. You need to make sure that you've got extra clothes just in case there's an accident. You need to make sure that you've got wipes just in case it's a dirty accident. You need to make sure that you've got a bag to put all the dirty stuff into. You need to make sure that you've got a bag to fit all of that stuff into, the wet stuff, the dry stuff, the wipes. Yeah, and making sure that you're near the bathroom and making sure that the place has clean bathrooms, because there's nothing worse than taking a toddler who's learning how to potty train into a dirty, disgusting, like, gas station bathroom. Ugh. So, yeah, potty training for me personally, is one of the most challenging things, but I have a whole other subsection here, and that is Adam. And that's my dryer telling me to come and dry the clothes, to fold them, but we're going to ignore it just a little bit longer. Anyways, Adam is such a wow. Like I said, I've raised and helped to raise many, many toddlers, and Adam is one of a kind, man. He is very, very independent. And he's recently started throwing toddler tantrums, which I've never experienced before. I mean, my kids, they would cry if they didn't get a toy or something that they wanted, but they'd never had a tantrum, like a full-out, blown-out tantrum. But he literally, we went shopping for bikes the other day, and we said we were going to go to this one store, and then we stopped at a different store on the way to that store, and he lost it, and he cried from the moment we pulled into the parking lot. And I'm not talking like, wah, crying. He was like screaming, shrieking, throwing, kicking, freaking out, crying. And he did it from the time we got from the parking lot. And I mean, he does that before, and usually he would stop, but he did not stop. He did it all the way through the store, and into the next store we looked at, and all the way back through the store, and back through the parking lot, and back into the car, and back to the original store that we said we were going to go. 4 hours. For 4 hours, he had a complete meltdown. There was nothing you could do. That is very, very challenging. Very challenging. For all you fellow toddler tantrum throwing, raising parents, you have my sympathies. Yeah, you can get mad or you can kind of laugh at it. I chose to laugh at it. We kind of joked. I was like, yay, let's have another one. Ooh. But I don't know. I don't know what to do. I've never had to deal with that before, so that's been an issue. Very, very, very challenging. I kind of need to zen myself before I go on to number 4. Whoa. How we discipline. I have a tiny bit of an issue with this question. So, here's my thing. I don't like to use the word discipline, because to me discipline involves spanking and hitting and other not so nice ways of dealing with children. So what I choose to call it is child guidance, okay? And there are many ways that you can guide children's behavior. You should be teaching your children the behavior that you want, right? By being a good person and doing good things, because children will naturally emulate what they see, right? Just saying. But you can also guide their behavior. So, for example, let's say you have two 2-year-olds and they're sitting next to each other and driving cars, and Johnny takes his car and smashes it into Sally's car, and if you're not quick, Sally will pick up her car and smash Johnny in the face with it, and then you have craziness. But if you're there and you're watching, you can see that it's going to be a situation, right? And you can do 2 things. You can divert their attention, which is, oh, hey, come and check this out, right? I got a new car, and then suddenly you've diverted their attention from the potential situation that was occurring there. So, yeah, diverting, or you can distract them, right? Which means that you can go and you can say, oh, let's go for a walk and we'll go for a walk to the park or whatever. Diversion and distraction. So divert them from the issue so that it can be dealt with, and distracting them from the issue so that it's forgotten. So that's 2 different ways. I also think that you need to give your children the vocabulary for their emotions, for their feelings. So what that means is, you know, if a child is sitting there and trying to put, you know, those little wooden peg puzzle things, trying to put the piece in and it's just not working, he's getting angry, you can say something like, wow, I can see that you're really frustrated. Do you want me to help you? So by giving him the words to match his feelings, he may not be able to say them, but he will understand them eventually, right? He can say, oh, frustration is this feeling and anger is this feeling, and yeah. So give them the tools so that they can use them, right? So diversion, distraction, giving them the language, and then for me, my last resort is usually a timeout. Okay? So the way that I do timeouts is not like the nanny. It's not like the nanny does on TV. I remove them from the situation. Now, whether that means that they go to their room, or that they just go place in some other center, or I don't know, maybe sometimes they need to go and snuggle with daddy or something. They need to be removed from the situation, and then I tell them that they're free to come back when they are ready to, right? You're free to come back when you're ready to behave, or when you're ready to not bite, or when you're, you know, you get the point, right? So some people do my child is 2 years old, so they are going to be in timeout for 2 minutes. And this child is 3 years old, so they're going to be in timeout for 3 minutes. Well, sometimes a 2-year-old needs to be in a timeout for longer than that. Sometimes they are ticked, and they need that. I kind of gave away a lot of them in number 4 there. But generally, I think that letting your children have a voice, letting them have the words, like giving them the vocabulary to tell you what they feel. You know, they're kids, and that's how they learn. Let them be kids, right? I think that we are so focused on making our kids grow up so quickly, but we're very focused on wanting our kids to grow up and moving them on to the next step, and instead of enjoying the phase that they're in. So even if it's in a temper tantrum throwing phase in the middle of the superstore, a small part of you can still sit back and enjoy that. I mean, what else are you gonna do, right? While the rest of the world stares and glares at you because you're such a horrible parent for letting your child scream. It's the way life is. So, yeah. Oh, and one of my other things. If there's a fight, man, remove whatever it is that they're doing, right? So if they're fighting over that car that they were smashing into each other, take the car away. I do it all the time. You know what? If you're not going to play with it nicely, you don't get to have it. And at first they'll cry, and then they get over it, and then they'll ask for it back, and I give it back, and if they fight over it again, it's gone. It's gone for the rest of the day. You don't get it back at all, right? Period. If it's going to cause a problem, I'm not going to have it out. Those are my tips and tricks. I hope you like this video. That's it. I hope you enjoy it, and have a good day. Allah Hafiz.